In order to run the lab attendance report for the students in your class, first start by logging into My Portal. When you've logged in, you'll see a security warning asking if you want to hide the insecure objects. To see all the links, you need to click No. Once you've logged in, click on the Faculty tab. Again, you'll see the same security warning. To see all the links, click No. Scroll down the page, and on the right-hand side, you'll see the link Lab Attendance by Professor. Click on that link. It will take you to the Lab Attendance Query by Instructor page. Here, you can run weekly attendance reports or semester attendance reports. In order to run a report, under Term, make sure you select the correct semester you want to run the report for. For this example, I'll run an attendance report for spring 2012. To run a weekly attendance report, it's a good idea to start the report on the Monday of that week all the way to the Sunday of that week. For this example, I'll run an attendance report for week 10 of spring 2012. So under the From date, I'll select the Monday of that week, which was April 30th. Under the To date, I'll select the Sunday of that week, which was May 6th. If I wanted to run a semester report, I don't need to indicate a start date or an end date. The next piece of information I'll need is the lab CRN. Each semester, the lab CRN for each computer and tutoring facility on campus changes. Click on the link provided to see the most up-to-date list of CRNs. Depending on which facility you want to see the CRN for, you can click on that link. For this example, I want to access the attendance reports for all of the French students that access the Language Learning Center. So I want the French CRN for the Language Learning Center. I'll click on the Language Learning Center link, and it will take me to the CRNs associated with the LLC. Because I want to run the report for French students, I'll highlight and right-click to copy that CRN. I'll go back to the Lab Attendance Query by Instructor page next to the Lab CRN space. I'll paste the CRN. The next piece of information I'll need is the instructor ID. By logging into My Portal will automatically fill the slot in with your instructor ID. The class CRN's slots can be skipped. What My Portal does is it will associate all of the lab CRNs with your instructor ID. Once the semester has been indicated, the start and end dates indicated, as well as the lab CRN and instructor ID, click on Submit. It may take a while depending on the number of students, but eventually you will see your report. Once the attendance report appears, there are two main columns you need to be aware of: the period hours and the term hours. The period hours indicate the number of hours clocked in by a student during the time period indicated. Because this report was run for week 10, the period refers to week 10 from April 30th to May 6th. The term hours indicate the number of hours accumulated by the student up until the date the report was run. So for example, if I look at Candice Bonilla, her period hours is 4, which means she accumulated a total of 4 hours during week 10 in the language lab. The term hours for Candice Bonilla indicated that if this report was run at the end of the semester, she would have accumulated a total of 19.7 hours up until the end of the semester. Now, this portion of the report is for French 2 students with the class CRN of 40392. If I scroll down, I can see that starting at line 36, here begins the lab attendance report for students in French 3 with a class CRN of 40394. If I continue to scroll down, I can see all of the other attendance reports for all of my other classes. If I want to print out the attendance report and have a hard copy, I can use the File Print option of my browser. And that's how to access the lab attendance reports for the students in your class.